Ghana, which is just about 10 years or 12 years in oil, people came and took advantage. We wanted to get oil in the first place. Because for 10 years, 20 years before we struck our first oil, in fact, it was being said that Ghana had no crude. It was being said companies had come and gone. Wasted 600 million, 300 million, 400 million. So when under Kufuor, we had a big meeting in M Plaza under the former Supreme Court judge, said Chum, I think said Chum, and using the Commonwealth people to try and fashion out what we had to do. We knew that it was not the best, but to bring the people in to make sure that yes, Ghana, we found there's oil here. In fact, the field that we found oil, somebody had come and left that there was nothing there. And to entice people to come in, sometimes you have to sell yourself a bit short. So if people say that the first contracts we sold ourselves short, yes, but without those contracts we would have gotten nothing. But it's the ability to learn over the period and be able to train more Ghanaians to fit into the industry that begins to translate and transfer resources from them to yourself. That's why energy commissions do accelerated oil and gas capacity building that syndromes. Why did I say accelerated commission? Okay. That's why PC has spent enough time. Even there's a school of thought that it's not PC's job to train local content. Because they are a referee. But they spend enormous amount of time ensuring that Ghanaians are trained in those different technically skilled, competent labor they want. Because for a long time, it was only Filipinos, Indians, and things who had the skill who could be employed. If you can't do underwater welding, would they employ you? So it takes time. And that's why one of the biggest jobs Petroleum Commission does these days is to link Ghanaians to the professions in there, and has even established a Ghana Welding Bureau to do the same way. Linked PC itself to Takrady Technical University and Kikau. Okay, Kum and Kamu. To be able to train Ghanaians. You see, it's not any roadside welder who can go and weld under the sea. And it's not everybody who can work in a confined space. Those are technically competent, certified people who they will employ. So yes, I can give you another example. The Regional Monetary University was training a lot of welders, but they were not getting employment. Why? Because they didn't have the requisite certification. So that's the work PC is doing, and we have to thank them for that. But that's how I said in my presentation that we have moved from come and negotiate your contracts to a model template. Come and let's put in the figures and let's get up and go. Because we have learned. So, the MD is here. They are working with different partners that have come to make sure that TOR does the work it's supposed to do. And they are continuing. It's not easy finding a partner when you are broke. So when they come, everybody wants to extract the still last life that is left in TOR. Then they have to make sure that TOR doesn't lose out. So they are working. And I'm sure very soon they will announce a partnership that they have engaged themselves in. Petroleum Hub, I think I just announced that we have gotten the land. MPA is babysitting them to ensure that we can do the site and services on the land so that we can attract industry. It's a pure private sector-led investment thing that we are doing there. And they are working hard. They are working hard. In fact, the place where the petroleum is going to be set, the chief of the place is also a member of the Petroleum Hub Development. And he speaks louder than myself, wanting the investment to come so that many more Ghanaians will get jobs and will translate our black gold to a finished product before we export. So what went into crude to gas? Was that the question? If I heard. Simple economics before even environmental. If your position is that we don't have gas, or we cannot pay for gas. If we can't pay for gas, then we can't pay for liquid fuel anyway, because it's about 2 times more expensive. So it's just pure economic sense to move. And then Ghana also had its own domestic gas that we had to utilize. So that is why we used the associated, and now we are even attempting to go to non-associated gas to feed. And is it enough? In fact, the onshore receiving facility itself has improved through changes to improve the gas that they deliver from 210 to 240, and they want to get to 260. So they are bringing in more gas. Because seriously, time passed, people go and drill and get to a gas field and they shut it, because it wasn't something that we needed. Now the whole world is using gas as a transition fuel. So everybody is thinking of bringing more gas on the field. So the more fields that get exploited, the more gas we get. As we speak, we don't have enough gas. There's no hiding, because the thermal plants are all on gas. But some of them are also dual fuel. They can use gas, they can use liquid. As we speak, those that use liquid, when the liquid finishes, the Ministry of Finance will have to find money. And I tell you, the amount of money involved in that, if we could have paid for the gas, or we pay for the gas, it will last us longer. And the exhaust and the fumes are more pleasant than the liquid fuels. My brother that did science and so said, I don't know. In fact, let's talk facts, not thoughts. The dam is not silted. I'm answering you, or you still want to ask questions? What do you hear? Everybody heard it, so let me explain. Then when it comes to next, I'm talking about the fact that the sources to the dam are so silted that few hours of rainfall, we have them overflowing their banks. And so that is your observation. And yes. So it might not be true. Well, for instance, Kubori Dam, Kubori River, for instance, few hours of rain. Previously, you can have 4 hours of rain and you don't get it flooded. But now with 1 hour 30 minutes, that place is flooded. That makes you think it's silted? It is silted. I'm not thinking. How did you measure this? It is silted. How did you measure this? Because after a few hours of sunlight... I'm saying you are using the proxy of time of rain for silting. No, not proxy of time of rain. Because after a few hours of sunshine, you see that the bed is filled with sun. We don't have water in it any longer. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And I've moved along the stretch and I've seen what I'm talking about. Okay. Opoku previously wasn't getting flooded as we have it today. But now, few hours ago, and we're all talking climate change today. So I'm not using my thoughts. I'm using what I have seen and what I've witnessed. And I've lived along those areas for 15 years, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, the evidence is that the dam is not silted. Just yesterday, I was with the VRA engineers. A river being silted is not a dam being silted. And you are linking the dam silting to the cause of the overflow in the dam. And I'm saying, even yesterday, I had to give a presentation in Parliament. As at June, the dam had enough water capacity at 174% of the average. Yes. Yes. And you have to know that the water that goes into the dam is also being used to generate electricity. So it's not a stagnant water. It's only when the inflows outweigh the outflows that they decide, and the water level gets closer. Let him answer. Okay, let me answer the question so that you can come and ask your question in there. But the dam is not silted. The dam needs no desilting. IPPs in June, yes, there was even a lot of radio discussions that heralded, they are coming to Doomlight too, they are coming to Doomlight, and people became all of a sudden spokesperson for individual IPPs that hadn't complained. And the lights are still on. Debt is not necessarily a wrong thing if you can afford to pay. Debt is not necessarily a wrong thing if you can afford to pay. So government restructures and reforms itself and reworks it to pay some debts and still continue to live. Poverty should not kill us. We should be able to eat. But I'm telling you, government is working through the Ministry of Finance every day, every time to pay our debts or pay down our debts. That is why the IPPs are continuing to generate. So, GECO says there was a shortage of gas. In fact, there was a shortage of gas. But how long did that power cut even last? And the lights came back on. And I said here, I didn't hide, that there's only one tube that is linked to almost all our gas power plants. So if there is a short, if it just so happens that an onshore receiving facility develops a fault and cannot transmit a lot of our power, that is why we are having increasingly bigger stretches of the country going off electricity when there's a power shortage. But that power shortage did not even last for 12 hours. It didn't even last for 12 hours. And we should understand, I cannot stand here and say that was the last one, and that doesn't make it doom so. We all saw that even ECG announces that we would put off light here, we'll put off light here, if we know a priori that this problem is going to develop. But when you don't know, and it happens, you have to tell Ghanaians the truth. When your child is sick and has diarrhea, and you say you are going to put on a new panties for the child, it won't solve the diarrhea. You have to take the child to hospital, let the doctors diagnose what is caused of the diarrhea, and give appropriate medication. So GRIDCO is the transmitter of everybody's generating facility in this country, whether it's Akosobu Hydro or its nuclear power plant to build in the future. The only transmitter in this country will be GRIDCO. And as it evacuates the energy, it knows where it is going to get it and where it's not going to get it. So if what he's going to get is shorter than the demand, he has to tell us. So that I don't see any wrong in what GRIDCO did. If GRIDCO had not announced, I'm sure the speculators would have been, Ghana buying Castle. So that is what happened. And I'm saying that those who could check, it didn't last even 12 hours. And I stood here to say that even our gas doesn't meet our boundary metering is totally different from meters in our houses. Actually, we don't interface with the boundary metering. It's an accountability tool for the ECG to know that in a defined area, how much electricity have I supplied and how much revenue am I expected to get from that place. That is what the boundary metering is. Gas resources. There's a question on gas resources. What is Aker Energy? Aker Energy has sold its interest to another entity, and that is the entity I announced that is in the market looking for FPSOs. And I think PC and GMPC, I've seen a letter that you are going to Singapore to go and have a look at the FPSO that is being constructed from. Yes, it's where? It's in Indonesia. And just 2 days ago, that's when I read a letter that they have either invited PC and GMPC. GMPC is a lovely partner. He has many wives. Every petroleum agreement, he's in there. So he's going to look at the husband that is coming, or the new wife that is coming, how it's preparing herself to come to Ghana. And surely it will come. And surely we'll name it after a president of the Republic of Ghana. It will come. So that is where we are. The regulator and the National Oil Company are monitoring the day-to-day activities of the new incoming partner to make sure that, yes, the oil resource, which we have confirmed that is there, is going to be exploited for the people of Ghana to benefit from. Was there another question on gas? What? Tema LNG, yes. When you are in the market and you say you sign a contract, that is the dangerous thing, and I'll explain it. You sign a contract to deliver gas to Ghana at, say, $5 a BTU. And then when the ship is coming, Fatih stays in Senegal, the ship is ready to come to Ghana, and Fatih says, if you bring me this gas, I'll pay $20 per BTU. Where will the businessman take the gas? That is what has happened. And it has happened to a lot of countries. That now the gas market that was non-existent in Europe has quadrupled the price. My brother from GMPC was all over Europe trying to renegotiate with Shell. Is it Shell? Yes, he went. But the reality is that when he's getting 48, also 8 November. That is why when you need dependable base load plants, you talk about hydro in your country. That is not in your interest to shut it. Even if you shut it, it can collapse. And you talk about nuclear power because you cannot shut it, even though you can shut it. You want it to generate. So you need dependable sources of fuel and dependable plants for base load carriage. So we'll continue. So we are still hoping that the Shell will still bring and come and supply at the agreements that we signed. And GMPC can give you further knowledge about that. That is it. I would like to thank the Minister of Information, Fatih Abubakar, for hosting me here. And I know that you've been pressing me to come and we'll make ourselves available.
Thanks for watching. Please like,